All right. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. What we're going to do today is go over the demonstration of the UUE in inContact as well as in iVinix. So this is an end-to-end demonstration of how to use the demo site. One thing that we wanted to make sure to iterate is this end-to-end demo can be used without you guys having to do any configuration on your site at all. So we don't expect you to get in here and have to do a lot of tweaking on anything. In fact, what we would ask is that for your basic demos is that you just follow the IBM airline demo process, which I'm about to go through. And then for individual client needs that you guys want to tweak the site, etc., is to include us in that process, especially in the beginning, because we can get it done in about 10 minutes where it's going to take you longer as being new to the administrative side. So my plan for this call is, like I said, end-to-end demonstration of the demo site, what to expect, where you're going to need to inject your agent ID, etc. That is in a couple of places like for inbound calling on the IVR, etc. And then after that, we'll take questions and answers, and then we'll move into the administrative piece on how you guys can do theming and a few other things. So unless anybody's having any...
Tyler.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect, thanks. So I just wanted to jump in and mention, I think there are some that may not even understand what the UUE project is all about. So I'll just give a little bit of background there and kind of the expectations for the sales engineers and when they might encounter it and why they might need to demonstrate it or see it. So,
okay.
So we have worked with iVinix to come up with, again, as Tyler mentioned, it's called the Unified User Experience. And it's basically using, as many of you know, iVinix has a great CRM that's very flexible, and they've customized it to where, we're basically coming up with a solution where they will be, we'll be working with them. We can demonstrate what they have to offer, but what it is, their environment is able to embed other applications and things. So let's say, somebody has 5 different applications that the agent is working in daily. The iVinix UUE experience is going to be great, because just like we talked about with the embedded agent experience in Salesforce, where we want to try to consolidate and put everything into a single pane of glass, that's what the iVinix UUE does. So we can take all of those applications, put them in a single pane of glass, make the workflow, and just make it a lot easier for the agent in general. Now, today, and Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it hasn't changed since yesterday. So Max is going to be outside of the iVinix UI today. Very shortly, that will not be the case. And basically what will happen is, for those of you that aren't aware, Max is being retooled to where it's called
You're
custom
not going to be able to
workspaces.
find one, are you?
And if you're not meaning to speak, would you please mute? But what's going to happen is Max is actually going to be able to, similar to like the persistent panels that we've had in the past, we're changing it up to where Max will kind of have a minimal experience, and it'll basically be kind of on the left side. You'll have very small navigation stuff that'll pop out if needed, but the iVinix application will be an extension of that. And we could use that for other applications or other things as well. But that's going to be coming in the very near future, so be aware. But right now, what we are demonstrating, you'll see Max off to the side, but it will get better. So again, this is a way for us to, sell a great product. iVinix has a great UI, great CRM. We get some additional flexibility there. For customers that might not have CRM at all, they can have the benefit of that. For those that do, again, we're consolidating it into a single pane of glass. There's a lot of benefits. Now, for those on the SMB team, for my team, Rusty is trying to position this as much as he possibly can, which is great. So you'll probably get asked to demonstrate this quite frequently in the coming weeks. I think the targeted date that we have set is September 7th, to where we want to have the SMB team ready to go, both the sales reps and the engineers, so that we can demonstrate this and be ready to sell it. So for those on the enterprise, I don't know, what that looks like. Speak with your managers about that, but just be aware that's happening. I wanted you to have a little bit of background on what this application is and why we've partnered with Ivenix for this. So having said that, I've been talking a lot. Any questions from the group before we let Tyler move forward with this training?
Hey, Jed, are we going to touch on any existing customers or customers in the works?
Yeah, I don't know. Tyler, do you have any information or insight you can provide on that?
Well, I know we have SoClean, Simplex, those two projects are using this product, and we have PDSnet something, I can't remember. Anyway, they're upcoming as well, and then I think there's two more in the works, but I don't have the names. They haven't been released to me yet. But other than that, I'm not going to show anything with respect to those customers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll just mention real quick is that SMB, I think we've sold a few of those deals last quarter. We're planning on selling a bunch of those this quarter. And for those of you that may have seen, Ryan DePrima sold a $50K mat deal last quarter. How did he do that in SMB? Is because he sold the Ivenix UUE. So, this is something that you might want to go to your sales guys and say, listen, are you looking to increase the mat value of your deals? This is a great way to do it. So, kind of a plug there.
So, question, Jed, in trying to understand the relationship with inContact and Ivenix, can you talk about that, and also questions around, do the sales reps get quota relief? Do they, where Ryan did have that higher mat? So if you could talk.
I mean, it's sold on our paper. So it's part of our product set. It's sold on our paper, absolutely quota relief.
And so if it's on our paper, the relationship between inContact and Ivenix, what does that look like?
Yeah, and so that's really where, when something's sold on our paper, that's really where we try to take on the bulk of the demonstration, which is why we're going through this today, right? Is if it's being sold on our paper, we want to be trying to do as much of the demos as possible. And then, of course, as Tyler mentioned, for anything that needs to be customizing things there, we can rely on them to help us out and to help customize those demonstrations. But yeah, I mean, it's very much like we're selling, we have various other partnerships that we're selling on our paper as well. Vergic, things like that. So it's very much the same as that. Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay, anything else before we let Tyler continue? Okay, thanks. And one last reminder: just mute yourself if you're not piping up with questions. And Tyler, we'll give it back to you.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're just going to jump straight into it. So to begin the demonstration process, you're going to want to log into your Nice inContact piece first. So through auth.niceincontact.com with your individual C32 login. Once you get logged in, all we need to do is launch the Max agent. And once Max agent's up, you can choose whatever you want for your agent leg. I'm just going to use the integrated soft phone. All right, so the recommended layout for doing the demo is to extend Max all the way. Like Jed mentioned, we're working on getting Ivenix embedded in the Max agent. That's actually been approved, so that should be coming shortly. For now, we do have to do a side-by-side float. So the closer you make them, the better they look, etc. So once this is up, we don't need the inContact screen anymore, so you can close that. And then your next step is going to be logging into the Ivenix demo site, which is, as you can see by the top there, the URL is demo.ivenix.com/inContact with a capital I and a capital C. That'll take you to the login page. Here's where you're going to log in with, again, your unique C32 login. And once you get logged in, this is going to take you straight to the airline demo page, launch page, okay? Now, it's important to launch this demo page from inside the environment. And the reason is because your agent ID will be detected and injected into this demo page everywhere it needs to be to facilitate routing of this inbound communication channels to the right agent. So you guys, multiple people can be on at the same time and you won't step on each other's toes. All right. So to launch this, simple click the button and it opens in a new tab. This is a representation of your customer's web page. This is all static imagery, so none of this is going to click except for the 5 buttons along the bottom for text me, email, call me, talk to us, reviews, and then live chat down here in the bottom right also works. Okay. So I only have the one screen to demo this for you guys for on this screen share, so I'll be switching back and forth. But again, recommended move this airline demo page off to another screen so that you have access to it as well as the agent's view from within the system. Okay, so the simple way of demonstration is just going to the agent view ticketing. What this is made to represent is reservation taking for an airline and doing support for an airline. Pretty simple. So the reservation piece does a nice pretty screen pop, and then the ticketing for the support is more along the lines of this, which will eventually end up showing you the customer detail record and the tickets and then the ticket detail, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll get into showing you how all this shows up as we go through the demo. Okay, so I'm just going to reset this and go back to this airline demo page.
Are we recording this?
I am, yes.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so the first inbound communication channel I'm going to demonstrate is the text me. I apologize, I should have had my text already put in, ready to go. All right, so for you guys, this is initiated from your cell phone. So like I said, your agent's ID will be injected into this. So all you have to do is click the text me button and you'll see that you need to text this number to this phone number. And you can include any text that you want with this phone number, but you have to put the agent ID in for it to get routed to your agent. Okay, so 696-4972. Then you can, like I said, you can put a space and then whatever text you want after that and hit send. Okay, now I'm going to make myself available and I should receive a chat information or notification as long as I put the ID in, right, which I did. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the agent information page. Now, we do not have, we're still waiting and working with inContact engineers for the SMS to actually give us a notification when we get something. Right now, we only get an SMS notification at the end of the entire chat notification, or the entire chat piece, and then we get a huge transcript. So I can't pop anything on this inbound text, but this does, I did want to also point out, you do want to enable panels within Max or it's going to pop it out into its own tab. You don't want that. So once you initiate the chat, you do not need to include the agent's ID on the return message coming back in because that session's already been established. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with this. It's we're using your Chimerica chat process because of the lack of communication in the existing flow process. All right, so once you're done with the chat, just end the contact. And here as well, now if the campaign was configured for disposition, you would have been asked, obviously, and ours are not. That could change as you guys tweak the system moving forward, okay? All right, now when that chat is done and we get that communication after the entire chat has been processed, we will have that conversation in Ivenix, and it will be appended to a customer record if a match is found on the cell phone. And so your customers will have access to the related communications for chat and be able to see that as they work the customer record. All right, so what I want to check now or do now is demonstrate the email. Now you can initiate this email from either your cell phone or your desktop. It doesn't matter, whichever one. But you do have to have an email client installed wherever you're doing this. I have Thunderbird installed, so initiating this opens a new Thunderbird message, a new email message. The to address is already set, and the subject is already set with a quote-unquote account reference. Now, this is actually your agent ID. Please don't mess with the subject. This is what's being used for the routing. So we're going to send this test message in. Coming back to Ivenix, when I get an email and I accept it, what's going to happen is, and on Ivenix, we are going to pop that email record as well. This becomes a piece of related communication, so it's linked to the customer as well. And then it tries to find a matching email address in the record and then shows you that customer record for who you're dealing with within the email. Okay. Now your communication for the email is still done through Max, so any kind of reply that you want to reply back with is done through Max. Then you just disposition, and then Max goes back to ready. Now that return email that you sent back is also logged within Ivenix, and so that will be a part of the communication chain, which can be shown as a related item down below. I don't have the emails set up here, but that's part of what the administration training will be after this demo training, so you guys understand how these different related items show up and how you can tweak this for your demos, etc. All right, so for the next one, we're going to do Call Me. Call Me is a demonstration of our callback request from a customer's web page. Clicking this is going to bring up a dialog box. Put in the phone number that you want the callback to come in on. Put in your name and leave it at well, let me rephrase this. If you leave it at reservations, it will demonstrate the script pop. If you put it at support, it will demonstrate the ticket pop. I'm working on making this a little more intuitive so it pops straight into a scripting view with nothing else on it, so it's nice and pretty and there's no distraction. Again, it's based on the communication that I get from the event channel, so I expect that change to be made shortly, and I'll be able to present that to you guys. For right now, on this purpose, I'm just simply going to show you support. I'm going to submit this. What's going to happen is this submission injects this into an outbound auto dialer. That auto dialer then dials or connects the agent leg, and then we'll call the far end call. And then in Ivenix, we should see the related customer record pop up. So I'm just going to come over here. It's now attached to my agent leg. I'm going to accept this call. It's going to call the far end. I hung the call up because I don't want the echo. But as you can see, we took the call. I was actively speaking. In Ivenix, it did find the matching phone number and pop the customer record here. And if there was any related tickets for this agent, they would show up here. You could create a new ticket if need be, etc. So this is how you would demonstrate the ticket taking or the ticket process. So this is, the agent collects some data, they can update the record, etc. Once you're done, you can then set your disposition, and then Max goes back to an available state as expected. All right, so talk to us. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt the flow. This is looking good so far. And just real quick, my understanding is that Ivenix had, among many features, but two of the main things that we're focused on. One is using it as a CRM. And then number two, using it as a place where customers can pull in their other tools, and it can all be in one nice, easy place. Right now, I'm just assuming you're demonstrating to us the CRM aspect of it, and then will we look at that other consolidation tool later as well?
So on the consolidation tool, it's the integrations piece. It's a back end piece that we use to read in from external sources, that being review sites, which I'll show you that here in just a second. The next button is the review. We can also read in from external sources such as Microsoft Dynamics or Remedyforce, Salesforce, etc. The configuration of that will actually always be done by us. That's not something that anything you guys need to get involved in, but I will show you
Okay.
like how that basically works. Now, as far as seeing it on the front end of Ivenix, it's really not. What this is kind of a representation of the data set that we would have pulled in from a foreign source and then
Okay.
stored it here, and then we do the record matching and show this information to the customer, the agent, sorry. And on update of this information, this would then be written back to the foreign source, being RemedyForce or Salesforce or whatever else. So
And that makes sense. So then the question would be, do you guys also offer your own out-of-the-box CRM, or does the customer have to come to us with a CRM?
no, Ivenix is a full CRM as well, so they don't need to have an external source. It's either way, however they want to sell that. So,
Okay. All right.
Yep, no problem. And I will show you here in a minute, like in view. So this will demonstrate kind of how we iframe foreign sources in. So as long as the foreign source allows iframing, then we can demonstrate. We can show that. We can also show, so a customer could have a FAQ from like their web page off to the side of the script, etc. So I'll kind of touch base on that as we move forward here.
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for the question. Okay, so talk to us. Clicking this button is going to bring up a pop-up of just a phone number. So this is your inbound route phone number that you guys will use to demonstrate inbound calling. Okay. Now, if you do click talk to us and you have Skype or something of that nature installed on your desktop, it will try to initiate a call from the desktop out. So I don't have that. I'm just going to demonstrate an inbound call. This would be the last thing I do. I'm going to go through reviews and live chat first. I just kind of wanted to touch base so I didn't skip the button for you. So for now, I'm going to move to reviews. Now what this does, this is a demonstration of an external source, like a review site, say Trustpilot. We have this on several clients. The process works like this. Ivenix will pull Trustpilot for new reviews, and then we create that within Ivenix. We then create a work item and send it to inContact. inContact, you guys now route that as agent skilled, skill-based routing to whatever agent's been skilled to deal with this type of work item. They'll get the notification in Max, and then when they accept that work item, we do whatever we've configured the system to do. In this sense, what you're going to see is when they accept this review, Ivenix is going to open our own review site view, it's called, so that they'll be able to read and respond to this review, etc. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and type in a review of "You're the best" with the right stuff. Here we go. Now we're going to go back to Ivenix. And we can see we got the work request come in, and we're going to accept this. And then Ivenix changes to this review site view where you can see, here's the review I'm working on. We have tags you can add. There's a lot of stuff they can do as far as, hey, this is my active queue for dealing with reviews. I have the list of unassigned reviews on the left if they wanted to continue this. They can write their response here. They can post publicly if the site that they're dealing with has private posting. It'll be displayed here, and then once this has been done, it gets posted down into my process of these are my active reviews that I'm working on in case somebody's having a communication through the review communication channel. So anyway. This is kind of a demonstration just of a work item request, work item routing. This can be done not just for reviews, but we do it for eBay customer inquiries. We do it for just several other sites. SiteJabber, reseller ratings. These are a couple that we currently have access to. And if your customers have other requirements for different review sites, and we'd love to code that integration and add it to this as well. So when you're done as an agent, you simply end the work item request here on the left, set your disposition, and we go, Max goes back to a ready state, and the agent can be continuing to work and doing whatever they're doing. But if a call were to come in, then the system would automatically take them back to this view and show them the customer that they're dealing with, and they'd be on the line with the person. So we take care of automatically taking the agent to the view that they need to be in to deal with the inbound channel that they just received through Max, okay? All right, so I'm going to come back to the demo page and just demonstrate the live chat. This is nothing special here. It's going to be done through Max, and on this channel, it's the same as the SMS. I don't receive anything until at the end, so they will have a history of this attached to the customer record if we can match on the email. So I'm just going to put this Tyler, and I'm put test@test.com, which does not exist, and then we'll go to reservations. Now I'm going to submit this, and then through Max, I'll receive, this is an omni-channel routing saying, hey, you got this live chat, and then we can have the communication just through here as normal. And then when we're done, you just end the chat like normal through Max, set your dispo, and you can close the chat window over here on the left. So like I said, I don't have anything that I actually pop in the agent screen yet. That is part of the ongoing communication with inContact engineers for getting that event stream to send this as we need it. So anyway, we anticipate this to be very shortly available, so it will pop this customer record while you're on the live chat, so you can see if there's any other communications or whatever else you want to pull off this customer record. All right. The last piece I'm going to demonstrate to you guys is the inbound calling. Like I said, this is the phone number. What we've set up is an IVR, a front-end IVR that just says, hey, press 1 for reservations, press 2 for support. So I'm going to press 2. I should get the call route in, and this should then update to show me the customer I'm working on, etc. So let me get this dialed.
Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality and training purposes. If you are calling, please enter your account number.
And now you have to put in your agent ID. So this, you have to have this handy when you're making the call so that we actually get the call routed correctly. All right, so you can see I took the call through Max, and as soon as the call connected, I was able to match on the phone number that I'm calling from, and then show the related agent ticket, I'm sorry, the related customer record, and then the agent goes through the process of, whatever they're doing with ticketing. Hey, can I, I see you had called a couple times on this. Is this regarding this? Is it a new ticket, etc.? So this is how you would demonstrate that process. So I'm going to terminate the call from the far end, and then dispo. This should set us back to available. Now I did want to demonstrate one other thing to you guys. So this will be the agent view for scripting. Like I said, I'm trying to get it to where it automatically goes to a new empty screen for you. For today, the easiest way of doing this, and I know it seems counterproductive, but if you grab these windows, you can close them. And then when we go to pop the ticket for this, then the new one will just pop right over the top of everything. I'm not sure why these, I think I dragged them the wrong way. Anyway, so I'm going to demonstrate another call coming in for you and show you what the script looks like for, like, say, taking a new reservation. Okay, so this is more of the scripting. I'm going to terminate the call so I don't get the echo. Hold on. Okay, so this is more of a scripting solution saying, hey, thanks for calling in. We called for an existing reservation or a new reservation. And then, this is the part that you guys are probably more involved in configuring for individual clients. They can come through and then, okay, this is a new, so we're going to go to Hawaii because we love the hurricane, or we're going to go to Rome because whatever. So however this wants to be built out, we can assist you guys as far as demonstration purposes, but also for selling. As you can see, it's really flexible. The fact that map's there is simply because I added this functionality through our Google Map plugin and tied it into the destination field. So there, I hesitate to say, there isn't anything that we have found that we can't do yet as far as ticketing goes. So this is how the ticketing, I'm sorry, I keep saying ticketing. This is how the scripting demonstration would go for you. It's more of a clean look. It doesn't have the 4-window pane, and it's just kind of demonstrated for the nice agent look and feel so that they can collect some information for the customer. Now, down here, you notice I do have an end call button. Ivenix does have the ability to actually end the call and send that request to inContact, which will terminate, and send a disposition along at the same time. So over in Max, if I was still on this call and I set this, it would automatically set, it did send the disposition. So you can see we send the dispo, and then it just sets Max back to available without any interaction from the agent at all. So if you do want to demonstrate the scripting pop-up, that's how you do it. Just hide these windows, and when you're done, to put it back, it's as easy as click reset layout. Everything comes back the way it was in the first place. So that's today. Tomorrow I'll have another view up here that says agent view scripting, and calls that come in on that channel will automatically go to there, and calls that come in on the other channel will automatically come to here. There won't be anything you guys have to do. It'll be automatic. All right. So at this time, I think I've demonstrated all the different points of the inbound communication channel. Before I move into showing you anything else as far as how we embed foreign data into the system, I'm asked if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, this is Mike. So on the very first module, the text me module, you said you couldn't do any pop because the data stream's not being fed to you. Don't you have access to the actual texting number that is returned to you through the text messaging platform?
So we get all our messaging through the inContact event stream, and the SMS doesn't actually inject enough information into the event stream that we can actually act on it. So that's what we're trying to work through.
Oh, it doesn't give you the DNS or the ANI. Okay.
Not until after the end of the SMS interaction and the termination of that window within Max actually initiates the sending of the event stream.
I see. Okay.
This is Austin. Another question I had is we logged into inContact,
Yes.
and then we logged into Ivenix.
Yes.
And Jed, this question part of it might be for you. When we log into inContact, we're still logging into our regular B32 or C32 environment, right?
It'll be your C32.
Okay.
Yep, correct. It's the C32 that we've tied this the Ivenix instance to. Yep.
Okay. And then down the road or in the future, any thoughts around like a single sign-on?
Once we get Ivenix embedded into Max, then yes, we can address that. Right now, we don't have that capability. I don't believe any of the sign-in information is sent down the event stream to us either. So.
No, that's right. You said we're embedding it. Great.
Yeah.
And then my last question was, how one of our competitors does have what they call a light CRM.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very feature-rich, but we don't really have anything to compete with it. What is your lowest base package of a light CRM? So when we go up against that competitor, we can at least match it, if not add more features to it.
Jed, that's probably more question for you. I don't know I'm technical side only, so I'm not part of the cost side at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll work with Rusty and his team on that, Austin, to determine that. But certainly, I'm sure we can get kind of a base package that would be able to compete against, the competitors that you're talking about.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
And Tyler.
Yes.
Quick feedback for you. This is Kyler. I believe there's a framework action to publish a custom event.
Okay.
Not sure if you guys have looked at that in the interim while you wait for official support for the SMS, but it might be a good interim approach for you.
Custom event. Say that one more time. It's custom event. What is it?
I think it's called Event Pub.
Okay.
So you can publish a custom event. So when an SMS starts, you could publish the Annie or Venus or whatever info you need out of that payload. So
And
again,
do you know, does that inject it into the standard event stream, or is this a secondary channel?
Nope. My understanding, it is the standard. So
Okay, well, that'd be great. So I'll pass this on to Armando. He's doing most of our inContact side of the work. So hopefully he'll know what this is and we can move on it. That'd be great. Thank you.
cool. Yep.
Anybody else with questions or information? All right, so a couple of other things then. So how do we embed foreign data? So we have, and unfortunately, you guys actually do not have access to this next piece directly. However, we can help you get this set up easily. I'm going to log back in as my user. Actually, I got to log out and log in as my super user has more access, and I can show you how this works. So in view, if I just go straight to this in-view tab, you'll see it's got a single pane. It's not the four-pane multi-pane that you're used to seeing. And I'm waiting for, as you can see down here, waiting for the login. So this is actually your demo environment that we just linked to. So whatever username and password you guys have, you can log into here, and your in-view environment will be whatever it is you have set up. So what we end up doing is we have this view editor. So, I mean, literally we can create a new view. So just completely, I'll just show you. We'll just do new view. It's going to be called test. What do I need? I want to put a new window. This is single window. And I want to make it 0.5, 0.5, and 99, and 99 because it's just a single window. Okay, so here's my window, and I'm going to add a section. This is where the data actually gets held. I'm just going to make it an iframe, which is and then whatever I want to put in here, I can put just a URL, HTTPS, whatever I want. Now, obviously, if the far side does not allow iframing, then it's not going to work. An example of that, and I'll only hit this once because it's a fast way to get blacklisted, is Google. If you try to iframe Google, it's just not allowed. So if I hit F5 and then come to this new test view, I'm not going to get anything. And if I were to actually inspect and look at the code, I'll see that this has been blocked. So as long as the far side does allow iframing, we can put anything that you guys want in here for anybody. And then as far as, and this is great for simple, putting multiple destinations of data into a single environment where they can just have access to different panes of information. It also doesn't need to be a one window pane. We could put 4 of them on here and have 4 different sites embedded in here as long as the site supported the resolution you're looking at. It's just it's kind of a put it in, experiment, is this going to work, how do we tweak this, etc. But we can embed anything we want here. And then as far as embedding, or I mean pulling foreign information, that's done, as I said, through our integration tool. So in integrations, this isn't anywhere you'll go. You guys see that there's only 2 modules that we use for integrations, and they're on the front end. And I think we have one set up here for, nope, I don't. So if we have a new integration that we want to deal with for, say, who do I have on here? Salesforce. If we set up a Salesforce consumer key in their secret, and we have everything that we need from them, then, and once we save this, now we're integrated with Salesforce. At that point, the customer can then create a mapping, which will go out and pull their Salesforce instance for all the objects we have that this user has access to. They tie that to a module within Ivenix. And I'm just going to show you one real quick so you understand. This is the new customer.
Tyler, while you're doing that, I just want to mention, so this essentially means that they could use, they could have an integration for Salesforce for all of their agents. I mean, they could actually pull in data from Salesforce to all their agents without having separate Salesforce agent licenses.
That's exactly the reason we do it, yes. So these guys, Simplex, this is one of our joint customers. If we take a look at the integrations module, wrong one. You can only be logged into one server on the demo side at a time. So these guys we haven't moved them over to production yet. So if we look at integrations, we only have a single one. This is for Microsoft Dynamics, and you can see we've got five mappings to different objects within Dynamics. So we're dealing with their account object, opportunity, competitor, contact, and phone call objects. So if we take a look at accounts, right now what this is doing is it's pulling out to Dynamics and it's pulling all the objects, and it found all the objects and knows that this one's a link to account. At that point, then it goes and pulls for, and as you can see right here, here's all the objects that exist within Microsoft Dynamics. And then here's all the fields that exist within this account object. So they can map any field from Dynamics to a field in Ivenix, which is the left-hand column in our account module. And your customers are free to add these fields, or you guys as SEs can add these fields for demonstration purposes as well at whim. So there is no restriction on what you can and can't add to Ivenix, and that's the strength when you're saying, hey, are you guys a CRM? Yes, absolutely. You can build this to be anything you want. And we also have not just the ability to build out data stores that you can inject foreign data into. That's great. But we can also build all of the logic, the business logic behind the scenes that says when this happens, do this, update this, only do this, send out an email here, send out a text message when this happens. All that business logic can be done through our workflow wizard as well. So, and like I said, this level of configuration is done during actual implementation, but it is something that you can talk about so that these people do understand. Just as I think Jed's one that mentioned, the idea behind this is to minimize Salesforce licensing costs and go with the UUE licensing costs, and it saves the customer money because they don't need the individual one-to-one relationship. So some of the other things I want to talk to you guys about is, like, say, theming. Hey, we want to kind of customize this to an individual customer. Now, we are absolutely willing to help step in and get a lot of this done in the beginning, and quite honestly, it's probably something we'll always be helping you with because it's just easier for us to get this done. But we do have the ability to theme this layout any way you want. Now, you see these are custom. Here's a custom Simplex theme, 1 and 2. I don't know. Okay, so here's the one they're using now. So if I click this, then the site instantly themes, and it's set to the color scheme that we pulled off of Simplex's main website. And obviously they're a trucking, they do distribution, that's not the right word, but they schedule trucks out there to pick up loads, etc. So we wanted to theme this to be more appropriate for the customer. Now, you can do this for anybody. You can have multiple themes. Each SE will have your own account, so you can theme your layout to be anything you want at that time. So you're not controlled by what everybody else is doing too. There's obviously a whole bunch of out-of-the-box ones, but you're free to create as many custom as you want by simply clicking here and go through the process. Now, we do have documentation on how this works as well, so I don't know if there's a link to that on here. specifically, but I'll make sure that I can get some information out to you. A couple other things I wanted to show you before we move on is there is on the, where is it? Airline demo. Can I see it?
Hey, Tyler, just while you're looking for that, we don't have that button to create custom themes. It must be part of your admin access.
Under preferences and then theme doesn't exist?
We have theme, but we cannot, I don't have a create new custom theme button.
Interesting. Okay. I will find out whether that is tied to super user or not. If so, I can definitely go through and create a single custom theme for everybody so you at least have that custom one you can customize yourself. But yeah, let me find that out.
Thank you.
No problem. Taking a note, just a sec. Okay. Oh, I'm on Simplex, that's why. Let me get this put back here. And then I'll go back to your guys' site. Oh, I can't type today. All right, yep, I'll find that out. So on the airline demo page, I think I have, here's an implementation guide. So this is some documentation for how to get, started with call center integration. I think if I'm not mistaken, in here, we actually show you all of the, hold on one sec, let me find this. Well, okay, so I think if I'm not mistaken, this has access to all of the, all of the studio scripts that are being used for this integration. So you guys as SEs can see what we're actually doing on the studio side as well as on our side. So feel free to dig in through here. You have access to all of this straight through that airline demo page. I'm sorry, this view implementation guide, this button will take you straight to all that documentation. And then, hey, Jed, I'm not sure if you guys were going to do the certification process or not. There is a certification module in here for you guys to go through. And
yeah, we're not gonna officially worry about them certifying, but if people want to go through that process and just kind of test their knowledge, they're more than welcome. But we're not going to be following up to make sure that they're passing that necessarily.
Perfect. Okay. So you guys can go through the certification training. And it's more documentation. And it's more kind of like what I just showed you, this end-to-end process. This video, how to get started, et cetera. This is done by Armando, and it kind of walks you through how to log in, et cetera. And then as you walk through this documentation, you can see it gives you all the URLs you need, what you're expected to put in for your credentials, what the screen should look like as you move through the process. So this is all on here as well. And I do have not only this video with the end-to-end, but I have a second video with the end-to-end walkthrough. We'll get all this guys out to you and try to help you guys through to make so that your demos go as smoothly as possible. One other thing I want to show you. You guys should have access to the admin side for Ivenix. I'm just going to, because we've given you admin rights, I'm pretty sure we have, understand that with great power comes great responsibility. Please do not hit delete and then say yes, because you don't know whose other stuff you're going to be impacting. So you can create your own test module if you wanted to, and you're free to call it whatever you want, except with special characters. Now, in here is where you can then start adding any fields that you wanted to. And if you wanted to use this as a demonstration process for your customers to say if they had questions like, I can't remember who asked the question about the CRM piece, but if your customers have questions on, hey, well, what can we do with this as a CRM, you can help them understand the flexibility of being able to add any type of record, of field within the system, call it anything that they want to call it, and put it anywhere within the form that they want to. And as soon as, and all this is saved, the layout, it's instantly available to the front end as a module, etc. So I don't remember what I just called this, but anyway, so does that make sense?
And Tyler, let me just clarify. So is that that's basically customizing a window that would be visible just when you log into Ivenix? That's not like the agent scripting type stuff. It's just what's statically available when you first get into the application. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, like this right here. This is the module I just created, the ASDF, and if I hit new, you'll see it's laid out exactly as I laid it out over here. So
okay,
yes.
Great.
Now these can be used as the scripts that pop up. Now we made them down here as these scripts, so you can see this is what showed up. You guys can add these as well. The only difference between things that are created under scripts versus modules is scripts will have some embedded fields that we need for call center to work. These are locked. You don't have to worry about being able to delete these, the ones that we care about. So you won't be able to delete them. That's fine. But yes, you guys can get in here, tweak around. Like I said, please don't delete if you don't know who else you're going to be impacting. But
hey, how did you get into that admin module? Because I don't think we have that.
And if you don't, I'll make sure we're getting that to you. If you mouse over your name, you should be able to see admin there. And if you don't, then I'll get that turned on.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Okay. All right, I'll get that.
Just out of curiosity, have you tried embedding our Engage solution?
No, but I'll tell you what, we can try right this second if you want. Do you know the URL?
I can get it. Just sent that to you in a chat.
I see that. Okay. No. So it looks like it tried to throw me down a file, XBAP. I'm not sure what that is. See what this does.
You know what? That's actually only supported in IE.
Okay. So no, we do support IE limitedly. We don't necessarily have backwards compatibility. We'll deal with the most recent, but this is not our recommended browser for use. It's either going to be, come on, IE, just do what I tell you to, not what you think I want. Firefox or Chrome. Let's check real quick. There it is.
and we can. I was just curious whether you tried it already.
Sure. No, I have not, but we can definitely take a look at it. Yep.
Thanks.
Not a problem. All right. Anybody else have any questions or input? All right. Well, then, Jed, I think we're good. I'll get the video launched over to you guys. I'll also find out about the custom event for Event Pub. Thanks for that information. I'll find out what that can do. I'll find out about the create new custom theme button so you guys can do some theming, and then also about getting admin attached to your SE group.
Tyler, I think there might have been a couple of engineers that didn't previously have logins to C32 before you imported those users into Ivenix. How do you want to handle that?
You just add them to the dialer, and then it's literally, if they're already there, I can go sync them right now. So I just sync.
If you just want to do a quick sync right now just to make sure, but then I'm sure we'll have others, and we'll just work with you directly if other users are added later and need to be synced over.
Sure. So here's what it's telling me. Maybe. A lot of information apparently, not wanting to respond to me at the moment. Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Sorry. My whole computer looks okay. Maybe it's nope. I had this right before this meeting. I had to reboot my whole machine. It died on me. So.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just work through with you. If anyone has problems, I'll just make sure that they work through their manager. They can come to me, and then we can work with you, so you're not getting a request from other engineers. That works for you, Tyler.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, so I do see there are some unsynced users. We'll go ahead and get this. We'll deal with this and make sure these get synced over. And if you have new ones, as you said, when you get them added, just let us know.
Okay, sounds good. So you'll get the recording over to us. You've got a couple of things, and this has been a big help. I appreciate your time today, Tyler.
Not a problem. I'm going to actually stop the recording.